Ryan Smith here, joined by Madison Capitols head coach Troy G. Ward. Troy, looking ahead to the second weekend of the season with your group. Bit weird to have single game weekends, first weekend and this weekend. I know you and me both probably wish it was a little more than that, as do the players themselves. Let's rewind to last weekend, though, against the Dubuque Fighting Saints. A wild game, a 6-5 affair. Dubuque ended up coming out on top. What are some of your initial takeaways from that game? You obviously have to be pretty impressed with the way the offense showed itself throughout the game.
Yeah, I loved our start. Ryan, I thought we got off to a great start. I thought we carried the play after we had those first two early kills. At that point in time, our penalty kill did a good job. And then I thought we carried the play most of the first period. We had a hiccup at the end of the first period, which I thought really changed the game around. We were on a power play late in the first period there, just to kind of win with 3-0 lead. Instead, we give up a shorty, it's 3-1. And, I really felt that was one of the turning points in the game. But besides that, I thought we managed the puck pretty well most of the first period. I thought we had a good start. Besides the penalties, I thought we played hard. And then throughout the game, I thought we passed the puck pretty well, which allows you to score goals in the game of hockey, and I liked our passing. But it was one of those games where it's almost like the very first game after Christmas. You don't know what you're getting. The first game of the year, a lot of times you don't know what you're getting, and it was a wild affair.
A couple of players on your offense, particularly the center iceman, had some pretty strong games, including Tyson McClellan, one of the newest members of your group, picking up 2 goals in his first game as a Capital. He and defenseman Phil Ballou coming over from Waterloo. What were your impressions of them in their first game with your group?
I thought they did a nice job. They missed almost the whole training camp because we kind of acquired those guys basically on the last day, kind of before the roster freeze went, and we changed down to 23. So not much practice. They had like 4 days of practice with us. I thought they made great adjustments. Both of them you would think would, because they've had some experience in the league, and that's why we went out and made those acquisitions to our team this year. But I thought they both handled themselves very well. It was nice that Tyson got rewarded and got a couple goals.
Now we look ahead to this weekend, another rivalry matchup with another Eastern Conference opponent in Cedar Rapids, a group that the Capitals of last season were very familiar with, and there was a whole lot of animosity when these two teams met a year ago, and I don't anticipate that'll change too much. You head into Cedar Rapids, which is always a very interesting environment to say the least. It's like Dubuque. The Cowbells are going full force and pretty strong, and you look at them in a weekend ago, all they did to open their season was put 7 on the board, so they have some offensive firepower themselves. What do you expect out of Mark Carlson's group when you go in there tomorrow night?
Well, I expect them to be where they've always been. There's 2 staples in this league right now, P.K. O'Hanley in Waterloo and Mark Carlson. So not a lot changes for their teams year to year. A lot of the same identity with their team, their same players to a certain extent. They've gotten their self to a point as GM and coaches. They know what they want. They know how they want to play at this level, and they're very good at it. So we would expect them to be just as they were against Lincoln. They're going to be a fast team. They're going to get on us, similar to the way it was in Dubuque. And it's a great environment. If you pick 2 games in the league that we could play in the first 2 games of the year, even though we've discussed the 7 days apart from each other, basically, this would be the 2 teams for me. They're both hostile environments, both good places for us to learn how to play, and what a better place for us to grow up in as a team early on. If you're not going to play much, you might as well play in environments that are very difficult. So I like both matchups, meaning I like the fact that we played last week in Dubuque. I thought that was a good first matchup for us, and I like this one as well.
You get to get the Rough Riders on the back end of a back-to-back for them this weekend, as they'll take on the Fargo Force tonight before you guys make your way into town tomorrow night. Let's do a little bit of a fill-in-the-blank here. Your team will come away with the first victory of the season in Cedar Rapids
if we just play to our level. Like we played to our level last weekend, but we didn't sustain it.
All right, that sounds excellent. Caps fans, you can hear that game tomorrow night on 106.7 FM, 1670 AM The Zone. Capitals and the Rough Riders coverage starts at 7 o'clock. Coach Troy G. Ward, thanks for taking the time.
You're welcome, Ryan.